Hi and welcome. It's me, Laura. If you are new here, welcome. Please like and subscribe if this is something that resonates for you. I started this channel specifically when I had discovered that I had lipedema and begun the process of learning how to thrive while living with lipedema. In this video today, I am going to speak specific to some of the physical changes that I have experienced since having lipedema removal surgery. The reason I'm making this video is someone pointed out to me when I did an update after water-assisted liposuction. I spoke at great lengths of the psychological benefits I have experienced. And for me, it's why I did the surgery. I didn't do it for the physical, I did it for the psychological. But I realized that if you are new here and you want to know maybe what it's like after surgery physically, then I would share it. I have shared it in some other videos and stuff, but this one is specifically an update after lipedema removal surgery. So first and foremost, I've gotten rid of physical pain in my legs. So before lipedema removal surgery, I did experience pain in my legs, so painful fat nodules. So for example, if my cat jumped on my lap, I would wince in pain. When my kids were little and they'd climb all over me, I'd be like, ooh, ah. And my husband would be like, what's wrong with you? Now I do not have that. My dog can jump up on me and it is not a problem at all. So I had the surgery almost 10 months. It was August 28th, 2023, and today is June 24th. So the immediate benefits were I experienced no lipedema fat on my legs. Right after the surgery, due to the trauma of water-assisted liposuction, there was a lot of swelling, which required great care, so compression therapy as well as manual lymphatic drainage and some anti-inflammatory medications, as well as really paying attention to what I was putting in my body so that I was supporting myself for healing. So I avoided alcohol and sugar after my surgery to best allow for my lymphatic system to work properly and not be fighting off other inflammation from things that I was putting in my body so that I could really focus on healing. So those were like immediate benefits. So the lipedema fat gone, pain gone. I do still do compression therapy. I wear compression daily. Right now on my one leg, I don't have compression on. My other, I do, just because I'm giving this one leg a break right now because it is very hot where I live. And then when I'm going out, I will put compression on. I also have venous insufficiency. So I had laser vein stripping done on this leg. And so it is in 30 to 40 milligram compression right now. I did go and have a follow-up and a touch-up a week ago Tuesday. And so it's important that I am wearing this. Okay, I'm thinking of my timeline. So about 8 weeks after my actual surgery is when the swelling began to stay down. However, I was still continuing to wear compression and was still experiencing some numbness in certain areas on my legs, mostly around my knees. And so I continued with manual lymphatic drainage. I was at that time also going to a lymphatic specialist and having massage and manual lymphatic drainage done by somebody else as well. I did that 2 times a week for the first 6 weeks, and then I went down, I think, to 1 time a week for another 4 weeks, and then I was doing it daily on myself anyways. And so I've continued that. I also to assist with some of the nerve stuff, so the numbness that I was feeling. I did dry brushing every day. Now I do it like 2 or 3 times a week. It's just kind of a part of my routine. It's a habitual thing. It's great for exfoliation as well. And now we're 10 months post-op and I have complete feeling in my legs, on both legs. There is a little bit of numbness from the last surgery, the laser vein stripping that I had done on my saphenous vein here. So like right here, there's a little bit of numbness because that's right where it was and that's still healing. But before that surgery, all of the feeling had come back in my knees and my legs since the lipedema removal surgery. So I am also now at the point where my legs aren't swelling up at the end of the day. Early on in my recovery from the lipedema removal surgery, which is water-assisted liposuction, by the end of the day, my legs would be really swollen. They would almost feel like sausages. And so I would do a lot of legs up the wall, manual lymphatic drainage, walking, movement, massage, which would help alleviate some of that discomfort that came with the swelling. Now at 10 months post-op, even if I'm at the beach, so when I'm at the beach, I'll often wear my compression there. Usually I'll just throw in thigh highs or knee high compression, and then I'll take them off at the beach. Lately it's been so hot, I've just left the one on the one leg because I'm planning on getting in the water pretty quickly once I get to the beach. And with my right leg that did not have vein surgery, by the end of the day, it's not even swollen. But keep in mind, I'm still being very mindful of the foods that I eat, as well as I do manual lymphatic drainage all the time. Like sometimes I'm even just sitting and I'm massaging my leg. I walk a lot. Penelope, my pup, loves to walk, so it brings me great joy to be able to get out there and be active. And so I am doing a lot of movement. I've recently taken up the practice of making sourdough. I make breads, muffins, pizza. My kids are obsessed with bread. And I have been gluten-free for probably 15 years. And I heard through the grapevine, through a bunch of different people, that they could eat sourdough bread. I'm not celiac. I believe that the inflammation from processed wheats and stuff has contributed to my lipedema. So I never thought in a million years I would eat a good slice of bread. There's some decent gluten-free stuff out there, don't get me wrong, but nothing I can personally make. So it's been a very interesting experience since making sourdough bread. I have eaten it and made different things like a sourdough banana bread. I made like hamburger buns. Today actually I made pretzels, which I haven't tried yet. But I've found that I can eat that and it does not cause inflammation the way eating like a store-bought bread or bread that wasn't made with sourdough caused in me. So back to the swelling and stuff. I typically am not really swollen at the end of the day, but I am continuously continuing these habits that I started before I had surgery. What are some other things that you might want to know about my physical body since surgery? My knees don't hurt. My knees were at the point where I was experiencing pain when like walking downstairs, walking upstairs. And don't get me wrong, I was a very physical person. I teach yoga. I walked as much before as I do now. It's just now it's really easy. I realized that there were things that I was doing before that I thought was normal, which I realized it was challenging for me to do certain things. It was like everything was a little bit hard. And now everything is shockingly easy. So I also notice I'm not as out of breath when I'm doing physical things. Many things are very easy for me. I sometimes will go to the gym with my sister because it's like a socializing thing. But for the most part, which I started doing this before my surgery, I just do little mini workouts throughout the day. So I do calf pumps. I generally do about 100 a day. So like standing up on my tiptoes and back down, and sometimes I'll bring some arm movement and I engage my core. I'll sometimes do that in between like stretch and folds with sourdough bread. Or if my husband's like, hey, do you want to watch a show? Might watch a show and I'll get up and I'll do some squats. Because when I do that, it's just become a habit that I don't really have to make time for. Because this is something that I heard from a lot of people, and I don't think I really experienced it because I enjoy movement, I enjoy working out, I enjoy challenging myself, but it's something I hear from a lot of people, like I just don't have time. Well, the truth is time is man-made, but there are many opportune moments. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with the idea of starting a new workout routine where they have to like drive to a facility, and then they have to get to the facility and put on their running shoes and then start whatever it is that they're doing. They almost make things too big so that it becomes overwhelming. And so what I've done, which I started before surgery, but I've continued after, is I've created a means to make things, like break things down into bite-sized chunks. So even with MLD, manual lymphatic drainage, I'll, just do my legs because that was an area where I was experiencing a lot of swelling at post-surgery, with compression stockings. When I first started before my surgery, I would start and I would just wear them for, 4 hours or so. And I know sometimes that can even be too much for some people. And I kind of worked my way into it. At first it felt a little bit uncomfortable. Now when I'm not wearing compression, I notice it more than when I am. It's become a very normal, supportive practice that assists my lymphatic system tremendously and has helped me to mitigate any new lipedema growth. What else? Physical changes since my lipedema surgery. I sweat. So before lipedema surgery, I did not really sweat. And I was walking the other day. It was very hot here. I think it might have been like 28 degrees Celsius here. And I was walking my dog, and I think I had shorts on and a t-shirt and compression. I think I only had it on the one leg because I was trying to not die. And I all of a sudden realized that I was sweating on my face. It felt dripping down my neck. I could feel the sweat dripping down my bra, sweat on my legs. I had never had that before. In fact, people would sort of praise the fact that I didn't sweat. They'd be like, oh my God, you're so lucky. And now I realize it's because my lymphatic system was not functioning properly. And since my lipedema removal surgery, it started a little bit before when I was doing a whole bunch of conservative surgeries. But after, it's unbelievable. I sweat so good, and I do not think of it as a bad thing. I'm just like, wow, my system is really working. Actually, right after the surgery, I started sweating like crazy in my bed. And this is something I've never experienced. I remember I used to kind of joke around about my husband sometimes sweating the bed. Well, me, every night, like I sweat. If I'm hot, I sweat. My system is working. Everything is toxins, and any kind of thing that is not meant to support my physical body makes its way out of me, sweat or otherwise. I mean, I've always peed a lot, but the sweating thing is new. And it's wonderful. So I did, with some of the conservative therapies, I did start sweating a little bit before my surgery, but since my surgery, It's unbelievable in a really good way. Okay, what's another thing, a physical thing that is so different? Well, everything feels easy. So my legs feel light. I found myself, I was at one of my son's soccer games, and actually that's another area where I make time to physically move my body. So if your kids play sports, like while my kid is practicing, even if it's before a game, like I'll do squats, I'll do some yoga. I'm a yoga teacher, so I'll stretch and I'll move around and I'll stretching your hamstrings is so good. And I found myself at halftime running. And while I was running, it was almost like an aha moment for me because I had run in the past, but it was challenging for me. I even remember meeting with a trainer and they're like, well, you don't really have a runner's body. I did not because I had lipedema. Like it was challenging for me to run. Plus my thighs were rubbed together and it just hurt. Everything hurt. And these last few years, my knees really hurt. Anyways, so I was running because I wanted to get some water as well as use the washroom. And I was running and I was like, wow, this is really easy. And I ran like maybe a kilometer or so and breathing was easy. I was sweating, it was good, but it wasn't bad. I just feel lighter. Everything is easier. Everything for me since my lipedema removal surgery. My knees don't hurt. I don't have pain in my legs. Working out is easy. My thighs aren't rubbing together. I remember even them rubbing together and them being pain. Like it was just a challenge. So if you are considering doing a more aggressive approach to your lipedema, I always recommend figuring out your hormones and starving off any new growth and doing several different conservative therapies before doing the surgery so you're in the habit already. I cannot tell you the number of women I've spoken to that have had surgery and then had a rapid lipedema growth right after and had to have a surgery again, or some women opted not to because they're feeling maybe hopelessness. I just want you all to know there is hope. There is hope. First of all, as women, there are certain things that doctors or other women deem as normal because so many women experience them. But I want you to know, if you're going through hormonal changes that are causing you pain, discomfort, for example, maybe even like 3-month-long periods, know that just because another woman has experienced that doesn't mean it's normal for you and you should just suck it up. Speak to doctors, do research, find out what may be happening in your body hormonally so that you can support your body in a way so that you feel good. Oh, it's so amazing when you do. And you have to advocate for yourself. If you discover some information about yourself and it resonates with you and you go into your doctor, then ask them a question. Expect that they're going to respond from their own perspective. Instead, do the research, come into your doctor's office and ask them how they can support you. Tell them how they can support you. Generally, this is something that we have to do as women. We really have to advocate for ourselves. And if it's challenging for you, take a friend with you, share with them your desires, and have them support you in advocating for yourself. I have had wonderful experiences with my nurse practitioner. I went to an OBGYN who specialized in fertility treatments to figure out my hormones. I told him exactly what I was experiencing, told him about my lipedema, told him a few theories I had about what I felt like was off balance in terms of my hormones. And he said, I'm gonna trust you and let's try this. If it works, great. If it doesn't, come back and we'll figure it out. And so you can do this too. This is why I don't say like, I did this, you should do this, because all of us are different. You know, some women have rapid lipedema growth while they're pregnant, whereas the only time in my life I felt good and wasn't inflamed was while I was pregnant. So our hormones vary in a variety of ways, and it's important for us to really truly begin to know and understand ourselves and then advocate on behalf of ourselves with the appropriate practitioners so that they can support us in feeling great. Because if, 90 out of 100 feel like shit and you do too, and you go and you tell someone, they're like, well, that's normal. No, that's average. What is normal is feeling good and having energy. And that is another thing that I've experienced physically since my lipedema removal surgery, more energy. I also have experienced like a complete clearing of any of the brain fog that I experienced. And that definitely was a physical symptom of an overworked lymphatic system that just could not keep up to the demand on my body. So if you have any other questions at all about my lipedema experience, the conservative treatments that I did along with the aggressive treatment, removal surgery, and what my experience has been like since that I did not cover in this video, please let me know your questions in the comments. I am so happy to share what I've been through, to share what's worked, to share my experience, so that you can then begin to intuitively discover what is going to be best for you. Because I know surgery isn't for everyone, and it's not necessary for everyone, depending on what stage you are, etc. So know that I'm just sharing so that you can make informed decisions about what's next for you. I know that when I was researching surgery and stuff, there wasn't really much information out there. So I am sharing many of these things as if I was sharing with my past self. And so if there's something that you want to know, please reach out, ask me a question, and I will definitely share my experience or my perspective. And then you can take what you want and leave what you don't need. And yeah, I hope if you have lipedema, you can find a way to thrive with lipedema because it is possible. Yeah. Oh, another thing that I do continue to use is my rebounder, my vibration plate. I teach yoga, so I practice yoga as well. And I drink a ton of water, which I did before. But for women who don't drink a lot of water, a lot of you do it so that you're not peeing, but peeing is your lymphatic system working properly, getting rid of toxins, and you want to help flush anything that's not meant for you out. So drink water. That is one thing you can start today, drinking more water. I like to add lemon to my water. It makes me feel good. If it does for you too, do it. And that is it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, like I said, leave any questions that you have for me in the comments and I will do my best to share. Bye guys.